So here we have x plus 2, and this quantity is being squared. A quantity just means all of it. We usually say quantity in math for things that are in parentheses, and we're doing the operation of it. So we could say this is the quantity of x plus 2 being squared. We're saying all of this is being squared, not just x is being squared, not just 2 is being squared. The quantity is being squared. Now, what's it mean to square something?
Or by itself.
Multiply it by itself. So an exponent means that many of them multiply together. So how many of us would expect this answer to be x squared plus 2 to the second? Tyson, you're shaking your head no. Why are you shaking your head no? There's an actual solving that we're going to do. Okay, this won't be our answer. We won't just distribute this 2 in here. That's not how that works. We actually have to do this when there's addition and subtraction in there. When there's addition and subtraction in there with the exponent, we actually have to write this out. So we'll do x plus 2 times x plus 2. We'll take this 2 of these multiplied together. That's what squaring means. We'll take 2 of them multiplying together. Let's go ahead and write that first step down. We'll take 2 of those and we'll multiply them together. Now, what do we do when we have 2 binomials multiplying together? We talked about this Tuesday a bit here. Yeah, we FOIL. So we do our first. X times x is. Then we do our outsides, x times 2, and we get. Then we do our insides, 2 times x. Then we do our last, 2 times 2 is. And now what do we do? Are we done? Combine like terms. What can we combine here? 2x and 2x. So we get x squared, what? Plus 4x plus 4. And that's our answer, right?
Yes.
What I want you guys to do is to work on finding 2 through 6. I want you to do 2 through 6 on your own, okay? And as you have questions, please ask, okay? As you have questions, please ask. Actually, that's audible. I want you guys to do 2 through 4 on your own. 2 through 4 on your own. Scratch that. Let's do 2 through 4 on your own right now. So do 2 through 4 on your own. And when you're done, please raise your hand. Take that check. Or if you have questions, raise your hand and ask the question.
your own culture.
Yeah. Yeah. Culture means understanding the ways of construction. I would like to stay in culture.
What?
Shrek is love.
I wouldn't watch
Shrek is life.
once this childhood. Shrek once.
I had to watch it.
I don't know if I watched anything past Shrek 2. I don't know if there's
Games
even
like
more.
give Shrek a break, man. He was like, just let Shrek die. The poor man's was I don't like the Shrek game. I just like the Shrek movie. I love the movie unironically.
The movie isn't horrible.
The movies is so good.
I would
It's not the
I would just
greatest
watch it all the
movie,
time.
But
it's
it's
not the
really
worst.
good though.
It's in the middle.
I like the
I have my
Adams Family.
I'd say 4, maybe 5 out of 10.
That's like
Your
one of my
childhood?
favorite shows. That show came out in 1964 and it still slaps.
What?
Adam's Family.
No, it's really good.
Bro, I love that show so much. It's so good.
Like, also, really scary. Disney was first created in 1923 and it's still around.
Yeah.
That's
But
terrible.
they're updating.
I know, but still, Disney.
The Adams Family hasn't had this
One movie that's
forever because it's a show that's in black and white.
Yeah, I don't
Came out
think-
in 1954.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think
I know, but Disney, alright, they were making like the original black and whites, and they're still
They're in
here.
the league.
Okay, wait 4 years, right? 4 years, and they will be officially 100 years old.
They're in the Illuminati probably.
Or I'm not saying Disney's good. I'm just saying they've been around for almost 100 years.
Like, oh,
Four more years, and we'll be their 100th
they have a
anniversary.
prophecy and they keep
Think about that. Let that one sink in. The year 2023, year
Like, I
after
like
we all
the new ones,
graduate.
like Coco and like Moana.
Disney will be celebrating their 100th year of existence.
Like live action. What's so different?
Yeah, we don't need that. We got
Oh, I'm not gonna celebrate it. I'm just gonna say, well, this price are not broken.
Have you seen the conspiracy theory that his head is like frozen? Like it's cryogenic.
Yeah.
What, Walt Disney did that good?
Yeah.
His name is Walt Disney.
Wait, that actually was his name?
His name
Yeah,
is
I
Walt
thought that
Disney.
was just like a street name type thing.
No,
Everyone just called him Walt Disney because that's what he wanted to be called.
That's his
No, that was
street
his
name.
birth
Tom's
name.
like, I
His
am
name is
Ricky.
Walt Disney.
So that's what I was thinking. I was like, gangsters have their fake names, and
No,
it
like
was just
Walt,
Walt
as in
Disney.
like Walter.
Yeah,
Walt
but
Disney.
his name was actually Walt Disney.
Yes, his first name was Walt, like Walter, and then his last name was Disney.
Walt Disney.
First of all, I wonder how they pronounced it back in the old days. It was like, what's up, Disney? And all right,
I wonder what his
He
real name
named the
was.
park after himself. Welcome to Walt Disney World.
He
what's
named
up,
his-
Disney?
He named his brand after
I'm just not gonna let that
himself.
go. He's gonna keep thinking
And
about
there's-
it.
At least
I wonder
How you
what-
doing, Walt Disney?
I wonder what his real
Walt
name is.
Walt
What
Disney.
is it? Look it up.
I don't have his real name.
You should know mine.
Yeah, I don't know you. I would call you Jackie Chan. Jackie. There's literally only two names.
No, it's not my middle name. That's my first name.
Jack.
Jackie's are
What? No, that's just the name that people call me because I don't like them calling me Jackie.
Okay, I was so confused. I thought, I was like, wait, hold on. Does that mean your name is Jacqueline Jackie?
No, it's Paige. Jacqueline Paige.
Got it.
Oh, I know yours.
Yeah, I don't know yours either.
It's so lame.
Okay, Tyson. His middle name is his full name is Walter Elias Disney.
Elias.
Wow. Okay, I'm still confused about that last
That
name.
sounds medieval.
What type of conversation brings up I should name my kid with the last name of Disney? Now you know eventually.
You don't pick your last
Usually
name,
it's a family
Tyson.
No, but someone did eventually. Maybe your parents had Disney, but that means their parents, or their parents, or their parents. There's originally a person in your family who was like, our name should be Disney.
That sounds like medieval. Elias Disney. But there's no.
Walter
What should our family last name be? Disney.
It'll be carried for generations upon generations.
Well, they weren't wrong about that.
People
about Disney.
That reminds me of how Marissa's sister named her daughter Seven.
I'm sorry, what?
Her name is Seven. She's having a No, you're wrong.
Recently,
She's the seventh child.
Someone recently someone named their child Eve.
Oh, well, let me guess. The answer's 8.
Sit down.
Like that is their official birth.
That one chick named her daughter Apple.
She thinks that there's an explanation. I'm gonna name my kid and it's just gonna be like the clown emoji.
Wow. That's not because you're doing wine.
Oh, no, you're right.
But she's over here. There is none. Agree with me because I'm right.
Sorry, I'm talking while doing my work, so I wasn't even paying attention.
Do you guys want to know Tyson's middle name?
Glenn's middle name is not Jake.
Yeah, it's basically if you guess John. Close.
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 James.
Jake.
I have some weird.
Hey, he has like a
It's my-
super basic
brain
name.
I was about to say,
Mine's
all
Ann.
of my name was
John's-
555.
okay,
Tyson James Maris, all 5 letters.
No one ever guessed
Common
mine.
sense, good things.
And I hate my mom.
My mom name's Ann. Is it Ann? Lee. I'll never bother. Sure. Okay, so.
Madison Lee.
Yeah, they could have done Lee. How did you get?
You like Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan combined.
Okay, my
Jackie Lee. Jackie Lee. Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan.
Is it just like Richard or something? Oh, John, yeah.
Well, I mean, he is a Richard, but.
Caleb. Everyone thinks my middle name
No one got that.
is out.
It makes me feel sad and happy. Oh, she said, "Isn't your middle name Richard?" And I'm like, "Well, he isn't Richard, but I'm got it."
I get it. I used to call my dad your And that's when you're multi.
I love how long
Right now you're acting.
I didn't know that's how you shortened it. Yeah, how do you get that?
I don't know. Okay,
I don't even like
listen.
Rick.
It's people in English are not the brightest. I mean, people in general are the brightest, but Englishmen,
Granddad's name
We're
is
generally-
Richard, and so is my elder, but we call him Jane. They just call him Richard. Not Dick or Rich, like.
Dick Cheney,
Yeah, Dick Cheney, that's his name.
Richard Cheney, which seems like a real name, changed to Dick
Dick
Cheney.
and Cheney, Dick Cheney. Have you ever read those books? I read those books. Who's Robin?
I mean,
It's something.
floats your boat, sir.
Rob.
Makes you happy.
No, Robin from Batman. That's his name.
Like, what? Because it-
Okay,
Oh wait,
attention back up here.
are we supposed to not put it because? I know, but we have to not put AB.
Yeah.
But we didn't.
No, we put A squared first.
Why?
Because that's power of A.
Okay, so yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Was she right?
So attention back up here, please.
She just asked if I put it.
So here, we do y minus 4 times y minus 4. So we go through, we distribute this, we get y squared, negative 4y, we do our foiling, negative 4y, and positive 16. Now the biggest thing I saw as I went around and I talked to you guys, the biggest thing I saw was when we got to this point, and we combined these negative 4y and negative 4y, we saw we had to combine those. A lot of us wrote, okay, y squared, then we wrote like 16y to the second. What did we do here instead of adding and subtracting? Multiply, but we need to add and subtract. So it'll be negative 8y. You don't change the exponent on that when you add and subtract. Plus 16. And that would be your answer. Now, yeah, Isla.
Why would you need an exponent? Why wouldn't you need a... We're not on that question yet. On the no, but it involves this one also. So why wouldn't you need an exponent on this one if you don't need an exponent on this one? But you need both
I
the
don't
other
know which
ones.
one's your
I was about to say.
2 and 3, yeah. Because you have an exponent on y, but she thinks when you're doing negative 3y times negative 3y, it's negative, 9y. Just 9y. She doesn't think you add the exponent.
Alright, we'll talk about that in a second. So We'll talk about that in a second. Okay.
Oh, great. We're gonna have another incident just like number 8.
Guys, calm down. Thank you. One thing I want to highlight here is when we have something squared, a binomial squared, our final answer ended up being the first term squared. We took this x, we squared it. We had the last one, and we squared that as well. 2 times 2 is 4. X times x is x squared. But for the middle, what we do is you take this 2 times x, you multiply these together, and you double it. So it ends up being this pattern to where whenever you have, write that in different color, ends up being a pattern to whenever we have, say, for any a and b squared, this can be any numbers, for any a and b squared, you end up getting your a squared and your b squared at your ends, and you have double whatever your AB is. Double whatever your AB is. That's what you end up getting. And the same thing happens for the subtraction, except for the only difference is you have a squared, you have your b squared, those are still pluses. You have minus your double AB. So you take whatever this is, square it, take whatever this is, square it, and then you multiply these together and double it for your middle. And so if you catch that pattern as you go through these, you can do that as a shortcut, but this method will still work just fine. It'll always turn out that way. Well, let's continue to that number 3. If that confused you, ignore it for now. But if that makes sense to you, awesome, use it. So x minus 3y times x minus 3y. Make sure we're so good. So here we'll take x times x, we'll FOIL it, and get x squared. Because whenever we multiply those, we add those exponents. So we take x times negative 3y, and you get negative 3 what? xy. You have both those variables there. I saw some of us just putting negative 3y. Then we have to put negative 3y times x. Now let's once again order this negative 3xy. We'll still put that x first in front of the y because that's alphabetical. And then when we take negative 3y, let's write down after, let's forget. When we take negative 3y times negative 3y, negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. And y times y, we add those exponents to get y squared. Then we look to combine like terms. We say we can combine this negative 3xy, negative 3xy. Once again, the common thing I saw was that we would have the outsides right, but then we would write this on the inside. Is that correct? No. Why not, Tyson? That's multiplying. What operation are we doing? Adding slash subtracting, okay. So it'd be plus a negative 6xy. You add those 3's together. Negative 3 plus negative 3 is negative 6. And the xy stays as xy. And that would be our answer.
Sorry, the way you wrote it, it kind of just looks like x2 plus 6xy.
Better?
Not exactly what I'm
Sure, I guess whatever.
Okay, now you're arguing with the teacher. There's no point.
Okay. Basically, yes.
Okay, no, listen, I get it, but she told me to put it on the x and the y.
Yeah,
So I put
one
it
on the
the,
x and the y.
no, us two.
Okay.
On the x and the y. So I was confused because like you're doing the same thing as the last one, but like you literally did x squared. That's why I wrote it. It was on the x and the y before.
But-
No, it's not, I swear.
Okay, does it make sense now? Awesome. Okay. Look at number 4. Okay. 4a plus 3b times 4a plus 3b. If you go through here, 4a times 4a, 16a squared. 4a times 3b is 12ab. 3b times 4a is 12ab again. Get the same thing there. happen every time. We get the same thing there in the middle. 3b times 3b is 9b squared. Combine these middle terms. 16a squared plus 24. What's more than 24? 25! We haven't done it. And that would be our answer. 16a squared plus 24ab plus 9b squared. Now, did we already talk about how to do problems like number 5? Yeah. Okay, so we'll skip that one. Let's look at number 6. So here, if something's to the 4th, what's that mean? Multiply by itself 4 times. So how do we think we might handle 4 of these being multiplied together? Multiply 2 at a time. Could we multiply the first 2 together and also multiply the second 2 together at the same time? Yeah. So let's do x plus 2 times x plus 2. Hey, wait a second. Did we already do x plus 2 times x plus 2 earlier in this set? That's our first one, right? So could we know it's going to be the same answer? So could we just write in this for these 2 together? Oh, okay, cool. Let's do that. We can save ourselves some work. So these 2 being multiplied together would give us that. And then these 2 multiplied together, would that give us the same exact thing? Yeah, because it's still the same exact x plus 2 times x plus 2. So we could go back through, we could FOIL this again and combine like terms. But if we did the same problem up there, we already know our work was good. We did it together. We talked about that. We had teacher verification, you know that was right. So now, we would then look to multiply these together. We would then look to multiply these together. And we, just for the sake of time, actually won't do that together right now, but do we know how to multiply 2 trinomials together? Yeah, we've talked about that quite a bit now, between Tuesday and earlier in class today. Any questions on these 6? Okay, let's go right below this. It says product of a sum and a difference. What's sum mean? Add. What's difference mean? Okay, what's product mean? Multiply. So that means we're multiplying addition and subtraction together. We're multiplying an addition thing and a subtraction thing. So here, these 2 parentheses are multiplying with each other, and inside the first parenthesis we have our sum, and then the second parenthesis we have our difference. So here's the sum, here's the difference, and the product is what they're doing together. Now if we were to actually multiply this out, I'm going to write this over here again just so I give myself room since I drew over this. So we do a plus b times a minus b. What would we do to multiply these 2 binomials? FOIL, very good. We multiplied the first, a times a squared. Tyson, I can see you being the man wearing tinfoil hats in about 8 years.
I've already tried doing it and it's very uncomfortable. That's why you put a beanie on.
Not surprising.
I like how Gabe has he's already done it before.
He's like, come on guys, you're in 2000 and late, and I'm in 3008. Okay, a times negative b will be negative ab. B times a will be positive ab. You want to write that a first always. You want to write them in alphabetical order always, even though the b was first here. You want to write the a first. And b times negative b will be negative b squared. Does it make sense how we got those 4 terms from that? Okay, if you have questions on that, please ask now before we continue. Yes.
Oh wait, no, they're variables.
Okay. So then, can we combine like terms?
Yeah.
Which 2 can we combine here, Jason? A, B, and AB. And what do they combine to be? I don't think so. We don't change the variable when we add. We look at the coefficients. So this is like a negative 1, and this is like a positive 1. So what's negative 1 plus 1? 0. So we have like a squared plus 0 ab times b squared. Hey, wait, what's 0 times anything? 0. So it's like a squared plus 0 minus b squared. So do you have to write that? No, we can just write a squared minus b squared. Okay.
Lord, you had to write that 3 times.
You don't actually have to write that out every time. I just wanted to show it to the masses. And so we end up getting a squared b squared. Now we call this answer, this a squared b minus b squared, a squared minus b squared, we call it the difference. The difference. What's difference mean in math? Subtracting. Are we subtracting? Okay. Of 2. Difference of 2. Are we subtracting 2 things? Okay. Of 2. Ooh, that was really bad. Squares. We'll call the difference of 2 squares. Because a squared is a perfect square, and b squared is a perfect square. By perfect square, we mean something times itself gets that number. Is 4 a perfect square? Number 4, is that a perfect square? Yeah, what times itself is 4? 2. What else is a perfect square? 9. 9. What else? 16, okay? So same like that, a squared is a perfect square because a times a is a squared. B is a perfect square because b times b is b squared. So here we call this the difference of 2 squares, subtraction of 2 squares. Now, when we notice, what kind of set did we have? Did we have the same thing in each of these parentheses here when we started? Yeah, but also no, right? What was the same between these two parentheses? The variables, right? We still had A, B, and B, right? So we had like the same numbers in there, the same terms in there. But what was different? One's adding and one's subtracting. So before, on those first 6 we did, they had the same symbol every time. On the first ones we did, we have the same symbols every time. Here, they have different symbols. Let's look at this example right here, x plus 9 and x minus 9, to look at what happens, see if we can see a pattern in what happens when we have different symbols. So here we would FOIL again, x times x is x second. First of all, do we have the same kind of setup as we did on that first one? We have the same number, x and 9 and 9, same things inside the parentheses except for different signs. One's plus and one's minus, one's addition, one's subtraction. So x times x is x squared, x times negative 9 is negative 9x. Then we do our insides, 9 times x is 9 times negative 9 is negative 81. What could we look to do here? Combine our like terms, negative 9x and 9x. And what do those become? 0. Negative 9x and positive 9x becomes 0. So we're left with x squared minus 81. X squared minus 81. Is x squared a perfect square? Yeah, because x times x is x squared. Is 81 a perfect square? Yeah. So we have the difference, subtraction of 2 squares. Even though this one doesn't have a square symbol on it, it's still a perfect square. Just like 9 or 16 or 4 like we talked about. 81 is a perfect square because 9 times 9. So when we have this, when we have these difference of 2 squares, when we have this like this, we'll get it from having the same parenthesis but different signs. We'll get it from having the same parenthesis but different signs. I want you guys to do 7 and 8 on your own. I want you guys to do 7 and 8 on your own. Right below this, I want you to do 7 and 8 on your own. And same process. When you're done, please raise your hand. If you have questions, please raise your hand. Seven and 8.
Exactly.
It's all in your imagination.
Okay, so it can't happen.
It's literally called imaginary numbers, actually.
Okay.
So I'll just make it
Great.
what's negative 5 times
Almost
Like-
good.
Okay.
Number
It's done.
positive? Is there an M?
No, there's not.
Oh, 4.
Yeah, after that. There you go.
Okay. I don't. Hey Tyson, Rowan's scared of you.
Well, I mean, I don't know why she would be. Taylor would probably kill me if I did anything to her.
Wait, I would kill you?
You.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, what?
I'm not really scared of you. It's the other Taylor that kind of scares me.
Oh, the other, the Taylor that yells squat bell?
Oh, God.
This guy's staring at not using the say tortellini.
And I have creativity, so now they're going to be worse. Right.
Trust.
So now that's going to be even worse than what that's going to be. Please don't cope with it.
Did you ever finish the Spanish chapter? Did you forget to do it? And also, some of them I didn't print out. I didn't print it.
You wouldn't understand it.
I'm like writing like.
I'm the
Oh,
zodiac
I don't
killer.
I can braille. Why did you make that?
I'm trying to find the braille.
There's braille all over you. Always around you.
Yes.
Go put your hand in the freezer.
I just saw someone the other day. They were legitimately reading a book with sunglasses on in church, and I'm sitting there like. So I walked over, and they're just sitting. And then just kind of look off into space, while rubbing their finger on their book. And I'm like,
That'd be weird if it
if
wasn't
you
a
can,
blind person.
if you can actually, I'm mind blown. Because it was so calmly. It wasn't like she was actually like very slowly trying to think. She just
I was told that I don't feel that. She's like just throwing her candle. I've been told that really cool.
scary. I'm pretty sure that woman could probably read the dictionary in like an hour.
I got you. I need she can read mine.
She's a sentient mind.
You hear when you lose one of your senses and you gain another. She lost her sight, and then she got my sight. I can see her not saying it. Tear down my face.
They almost just made me spit on my coffee. That would make me sad.
Yep, that's a
Certain,
J.
certain,
That's a K.
certain combination of dots.
I started
supposed to
learning
like,
it, but I
like,
forgot it.
the fact that I understand it because I was sitting there like feeling the book. I'm like, okay, I can understand because the words space out. But
I can't.
people, they just
I hate going to McDonald's with
they're reading books faster than I could with my eyes.
I learned after
I was
So
right
that's the other part that scares me. Like, you don't understand that there's an entire sentence talking about the Bible with your fingertip in 3 seconds, and it's a paragraph long.
Do you think there's like deaf churches where it's just like a pastor going with for an hour? So wash my hands.
Yeah, it's just a big one. It's like, Pastor, the church we're going to, my grandma goes there because
Or my one
food thingy.
I just didn't. I
I feel like it was a lot later last year. Why did you just move it on? Because
Their letters. Oh yeah, that's because it's algebra, that's why.
yeah, well, and I don't see and I can't do it later, so.
Alright, so
Oh no, I like doing it. I just kind of like doing marching band too.
Why don't you just do like one?
I mean, I feel like I your hands. No. I feel like I could do cheer, like cheer. I feel like I could make it like mine.
Let's go ahead and take our seats, please. Let's go ahead and take our seats, please. So on this first one, if we look at these again, we have the same thing in these parentheses except for their different signs. One's negative, one's positive. So if we go through this, we could FOIL and get x squared plus 5x minus 5x minus 25. From here you combine the like terms, 5x and negative 5x. What do those combine to be? 0. So you just have x squared minus 25. Now, if you saw the shortcut, you could just take x squared and then take negative 25. I saw some of you guys write that. That was awesome. Those middle terms are going to fall out or go away or zero out, as I'll say, when we have those same numbers with different signs. Only because we have the same numbers with different signs. If only, even one of those wasn't true, it wouldn't work. On number 8, what did we end up getting? Owen, what did you get? Very good. M to the second minus 4n to the second. We end up having m squared minus 2mn in the middle, or that was a plus 2mn in the middle, minus 2mn in the middle, minus 4n squared. And those middle terms zero out. They add up to 0 and go away. And so we're left with just that. And if we were careful here with our last one, we'd end up getting the same thing, but we'll skip the last one for now and get on to our homework. Okay, we'll skip the last one now and get on to our homework.
Mr. Consul, I found that worksheet.
Liddy.
I'm so disappointed.
I'm so disappointed in myself, Mr. Consul.
Oh, I know why teacher.
Oh, yeah, clapping.
Yeah, but I just never did your fingers.
It's like he's saying something Russian to you. And I'm like expecting you to understand it. Oh my God.
Hey, when is this going to be due, class? Next class, which is
Monday.
Tuesday. We don't have our classes tomorrow. Someone's on Friday. You can still stop by and see me, though.
Wait, is he on Friday?
Where I entirely mother in a horrible way.
Oh, that's good. You were so disrespectful to your mother.
Oh, wait.
I thought you were
Yes. This will be due on Tuesday. What kind of day do we have tomorrow, then?
Hey.
Day day.
Wait, but we're gonna do fun stuff Friday.
You guys can still stop by and see me in the hallway.
Wait, why are we missing? Wait. Why are we missing Fun on Friday?
Because tomorrow's an 8/8 since the schedule is.
You're telling me I'm having Howard for an hour and a half tomorrow.
Yes.
I guess.